It is coming up. We are excited for Embodying Your Stories, a virtual workshop being taught by Pam Faro. And of course, here she is right here. And we have some questions. Well, of course, when is it? It's going to be Saturday, February 3rd, 2024 from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. And if you need a time zone converter, don't worry, there is a link there so you can check it out, storycrossroads.org/all-things-story. But embodying your stories, I mean, just the word embodying is an interesting word. Tell me more about what drew you to that word for this workshop and why you love the topic.
I guess it's because as I was doing storytelling over many years, people were giving me feedback like they do. And over the years, people were often giving me comments about how I would present the story, how I seemed to, and yeah, the word was embody things that were happening in the story and communicated the emotions to them. And they would communicate that with real positive response. So I started thinking about it. How is it that I do what they say they appreciate? And that's what led to the creation of this particular workshop.
I love it. Now, you've been a storyteller for a long time. Tell me a little, maybe some things that are not in your bio that would be fun to know about you.
Oh, golly. I don't know. You spring this on me at the last minute.
Ah,
Um, I lived in Ecuador for a time, and so since I had to learn Spanish to buy my groceries, take the bus, and make friends, that's why I do have a repertoire of stories that I tell bilingually, Spanish, English. I'm not a native speaker, but I've come to love bringing that language into my work at times. So that's something that isn't always in my bio.
and I'm not that you can't share a few things. I'll give you a chance to share maybe a couple things about your background that you usually tell.
Okay. Okay. I also, oh, what? I was a single mom for many years, and that impacted a lot of my worldview, I guess, about how important it is to make connections with whatever resources you may or may not have. And I found storytelling a real good part of my being a parent and of my working while being a single parent. So there's that. Um, I also went to theological school. Friend likes to ask me, Pam, what are you a master of? And I get to say, of divinity.
Mm.
Yeah, I have a Master of Divinity degree, and that has impact on my storytelling as well. Not that I do anything overtly religious in my storytelling, unless I'm asked to do so in a church setting. But there is a sense of I think, appreciation of the spiritual aspects of life, of the world, of nature that infills a lot of my storytelling.
Well, and taking that spiritual realm, one of the things that we're delving into with your workshop is internal imagery. To me, that kind of has a connection that is meditative of sorts, but maybe you can
Yep.
just a little bit more, not too much, because we need people to come to the workshop, of course.
Well, yeah.
But what can you tell us about internal imagery that we'll be delving into?
Well, I think this is not at all a foreign concept to most storytellers. I mean, everybody knows that we have the imagery of our story. But again, whether it's because of our personality differences or the different processes that we each have as storytellers, I have found that certain things that I've learned about developing and tapping into the internal imagery of a story, I found there are certain things that I can actually either teach people something they may not have thought of or an angle they haven't used before, and or remind people of something that, yeah, I already know this, but I don't actually always do it. And so that's a major goal for me of this workshop, is to invite people, whether they are brand new to storytelling or well experienced. I've been doing this 36 years, and I find these activities and exercises repeatedly valuable. So I think that this engagement of these activities that we'll do will be something that can help a storyteller of any experience level engage in new ways in their stories and in fruitful ways.
Well, I'm excited. And now, if you have a schedule conflict, everybody, and you can't make it Saturday, February 3rd, 2024, from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time, you could still get the recording. Virtual live is going to be best. I know that there will also be like a breakout room to do some things. There will also be movement involved. So maybe a place where you have your laptop or device where you could move a little bit. So just a heads up for that. You can still register and get that recording whether or not you are attending. So check it out. Go to storycrossroads.org/all-things-story. They'll have all the details for you. And until we tell again.